We're live.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the General Committee meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather in prayer this evening, grateful for the opportunity to pause and reflect on the approaching holiday season. But also with today being the anniversary of Pearl Harbor, we would ask a special blessing upon our service members and their families who are stationed around the world. And we also ask that you keep watch over our employees as they deal with the busy times before the holidays and with our students as they prepare for their first semester exams. Please give each of us the spirit of joy and peace that is so abundant this time of year, and help us each remember the reason for this season. These things we ask in your name.
Amen. Mr. Warner, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Ms. Voce.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Egan, and Ms. Jackson are not with us. Ms. Lee Bowman,
Present.
Ms. Lemoyne,
Here.
Mr. England,
Here.
Ms. Dysart,
Here.
Mr. Long, Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Warner,
Here.
and Ms. White.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Voce. First item on the agenda is an Education Committee item. Ms. Lemoyne.
Thank you, Ms. Dysart. Agenda item number 2 is an update on the 2022-2023 school calendar, and we have Ms. Lamatti here to
Good
present.
evening. Okay, I wanted to come to you this evening and bring you an update on the employee calendar for the 2022-2023 school year. And I did want to start by saying that Mrs. Maggie Roussel put together a wonderful team who got together 3 really good options for the employees. And I have for you the first page and the second page are a sample for you of what the employees had when they did their voting. So on the first page, I always lay out for each option. The options are certain things that are similar on each calendar. And for all the options, the students begin school on August 5th, Friday, August 5th. And on option 1, the fall and winter dates for the teacher PD actually are a little different. The first option is what we have this school year, which is the teacher PD day being November 1st after Halloween, and then January 17th after Martin Luther King Day. Option 2 and 3 this year has the teacher PD day November 1st, but the January PD date being January 2nd, right after Christmas holiday. So then the students would come get an extra day and would come back then January 3rd. So that was an interesting option that was thrown into option 2 and 3. All 3 options, of course, had the parent report card conference nights, as they've become accustomed to, with the high school, middle school, and elementary in October, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And all 3 options have a week Thanksgiving holiday, 2 weeks Christmas holiday, and a week for Mardi Gras. Where they differ is for fall break, and Easter holiday. So option 1 actually matches the calendar we have now, which had a 1-day fall break in October on the 31st, and then the teacher PD day in the 1st, and then Easter holiday matches what we have this school year, 2 days before Easter and 2 days after Easter. Option 2 actually had the fall break 1 day on the 10th and had actually a week for Easter holiday. And then option 3, which is actually the option that won, we had a close race this year. If you see on the sheets with the voting, we did have a close race, but option 3 won. So the employees voted for the students starting on August 5th, the school year ending with the last day for students on May 23rd, and the last day for employees, May 24th, is Records Day. 2 days for fall break, October 10th and 11th. Teacher Professional Development Day, November 1st, so students would not come to school after Halloween. Thanksgiving holiday a week, Christmas holiday 2 weeks. Teacher PD Day would be January 2nd, the day after Christmas holiday, so students would not return until January 3rd. We would still have Martin Luther King Day off, and then a week for Mardi Gras, Easter holidays matching this school year, 2 days before and 2 days after, and then as I mentioned earlier, students' last day May 23rd and Records Day May 24th. So option 3 is the option which I gave you a color calendar of each of the options as your last 3 handouts. I wanted you to see what the employees get, the detail they get when they do their voting. and then the 3 color options. So as you can see in the voting, option 3 was the option that won in the employee voting.
Thank you, Ms. Lametta, and thank you to Ms. Roussel and all the teachers who gave their input into the calendar decision. Any questions for Ms. Lametta? Mr. Long?
Well, since the employees have voted, I'd make a motion to recommend option 3 to the full board.
We have a motion by Mr. Long, seconded by Ms. Dysart. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify, or actually, we're voting on the machine again, right? No, we're spread out, sorry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, good evening.
Next item, Mr. Long.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dysart. Personnel items, and let's see, this is for information purposes only. Ms. Voce, are you handling this tonight?
Yes, these are just changes that we have had since our last meeting. Just our normal leaves and appointments.
Okay, any questions, discussion? Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
We'll move on. Let's see. Item 4 is a finance committee item. Mr. Warner?
Thank you, Mr. Long. Item number 4 is bid tabulation for bids received for spices and seasoning, Class 2, cereal, dried beans and crackers, Class 3, frozen foods, Class 5, meat and meat products, Class 6, poultry and eggs, Class 7, seafood products, Class 8, and canned goods, Class 9, for the period of January 1st through June 30th, 2022. Hello there, Mr. Morrell. How are you, sir?
I am well, Mr. Long. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to ask permission to accept the bid for food products. The bid opening we opened the bid on November 18th, 2021. 3 companies did respond to this. The full tabulation is in your packets that you have. We're recommending the low bid on each item be awarded, and the food products is for, as Mr. Warner said, the period of January 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2022.
Want to make a motion to accept the bid tabulation? Our kids do have to eat.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I have a motion by Mr. Smith to pass this to the full board with a recommendation. Seconded by Mrs. Lemoyne. Any other discussion? Mrs. Dysart.
Just one quick question. Are there any exceptions to the low bid?
No, ma'am.
So it's all
Every-
lowest bid, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Signify by saying aye. In favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Morrell.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Long, we're going to go back to you
Thank
with item number 5.
Item 5 is, let's see, consideration of revisions to the school board policy, and we have 6 of them to look at tonight. Who we have? Oh, okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As we are about to close out this year, we have 6 final proposed policy revisions. They address the final 2 acts of the 2021 Louisiana Legislature regular session that have not yet been included in our previous updates, which is Act 102 and Act 275. All of the proposed revisions that I'm going to share with you this evening center just around term cleanup. So hopefully this will be pretty easy. The first one that I will present is 5.1, Dje Purchasing. This is a revision, and it goes along with Act 102. This update is being taken directly from page 1 of Act 102. In this update, you will see on the third page that the term reverse auction is replacing the term competitive online solicitation. Additionally, on page 4, the definition of reverse auction has been moved to the end of the paragraph, aligning with the revisions to Act 102, page 1.
Okay.
Seems simple enough. I'll make a motion that we
You have a motion to recommend?
recommend policy DJE to the full board.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Warner, seconded by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to 5.2.
5.2 is JDED, bids and quotations. For this proposed revision, we are removing the term competitive online solicitation process from the policy. You'll see this on page 2. The term or consulting services has been added, and I'd like you to know that these updates are taken directly from page 2 of Act 102. That is it for the revisions for JDED.
Okay, we have a motion by,
Could I just interject a moment?
okay.
Isn't that DJED, so we have to make that?
DJED, yes, I
Right,
apologize.
for the minutes,
Mhm.
Ms. Berto, to make that correction on
It's-
the agenda item. It's not
Yes.
JD, it's
DJ.
DJED.
Thank you.
DJED, okay.
Thank you.
So you still want to make the motion?
Just want to make sure we get it right. There's a little typo on there.
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Warner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We'll move on to 5.3.
5.3 is GBRHA, sabbatical leave. Act 275 amended multiple statutes, replacing the term guidance counselor with school counselor. This term has been replaced in many policies that we've recently adopted that are common to all school boards. Several of the policies revised previously included this change, and the remainder of the policies being brought to the board tonight include the policy revision for this replacement. For sabbatical leave, there is one instance of this change included in this policy, highlighted in yellow for you here.
Mr. Long?
Okay,
I'll also move the change of policy GBRHA as indicated by Act 275 of the revised statutes.
okay. We have a motion and a second by Ms. Lemoyne. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We'll move on to 5.4.
5.4 is IHAD, parent conferences. And this is the same as the last policy with Act 275 amending the term guidance counselor and replacing it with school counselor. In IHAD, there are two instances highlighted for you in yellow on page 1 and on page 2.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Warner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. Motion carries. We'll move on to 5.5.
5.5 is JG, student welfare. This also follows Act 275, where the term guidance counselor is replaced with school counselor. There is one instance of this revision on page 1.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Warner. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to 5.6.
5.6 is JQA, expectant and parenting students. This is the last proposed policy revision tonight, again for Act 275, where the term guidance counselor is replaced with school counselor. There is one instance of this replacement on page 1.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion. Motion by Mrs. Lemoyne, seconded by Mr. England. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank
It's
you.
interesting what we passed last time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Technical
I'm just like amazed by this.
Okay.
Yeah, don't call it a guidance
Item
counselor,
is
Sheldon.
superintendent's
Don't do
notes.
that.
We can't call them guidance. Call them
I'm
school
sorry?
counselors. Nothing, I'm just murmuring under my breath.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Next item was superintendent's notes.
Okay, just a couple of things. I know that we had completed our financial and compliance audit in October, but had to delay its presentation because the federal government had not sent out an amendment to one of the federal funding sources for the accountants to pass an opinion on. And they got, finally, that addendum came out Friday. And we contacted our auditor, who is making that adjustment and will supply the opinions. So we're going to put it on our meeting next week, the December 14th meeting, where the auditor will come and present the results of our financial and compliance audit for the fiscal year 2021. Okay, so that's good news. We can get that out of the way. The Christmas show is for Shelmet High School, and we're really, really excited because that's going to be the first one that we're going to have now in 2 years. So the kids are anxious to perform. It's not going to be as lengthy as we normally have, but it's going to be wonderful. We'll have our Shelmet Voices, the band, the dancing groups, the Charmers, and individual students with instrumental and vocal music. And it'll be just a wonderful evening just to get back into the theater and see those particular performances. So that show for Shelmet High's Christmas show will be this coming Thursday and Friday night. The tickets are on sale. You can go through the website or through the school and get it. And I hear they're selling very, very fast at this point. Our elementary students, all day Saturday, they each of the elementary schools has a time slot, and they'll be performing Saturday at the Cultural Arts Center, and then Sunday afternoon, our 3 middle schools will do some little presentation. So we'll be moving our elementary and middle school students through those performances Saturday and Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's just a wonderful thing to say that our theater will be open. You know how they say Broadway's open? Well, now Shelmet High is open, their Performing Arts Center. So we're excited about those particular shows. I did want to mention, too, that last Wednesday, I think it was, we had a visit. We were fortunate enough to have a visit from our state superintendent, Dr. Cade Brumley, the Commissioner of Higher Education, Dr. Kim Hunter-Reed, and she is over all of the university systems. Some people from the State Department in relation to the career and technical education programs and that Fast Forward initiative that the Department of Education is pushing, and we have been recognized as one of the 3 school systems in the state that are early adopters of those programs, where our kids can get extensive dual enrollment credit and also, if they so choose, to earn associate degrees. And as they made that visit, they spent a great deal of time that morning at our Cultural Arts Center, and I purposefully kept them there to go through that whole facility to show what we have to offer our kids, because we are really, really I guess, anxious to begin an associate degree program in the fine arts that we would do in partnership with Nunez. We already have the associate degree program for PTAC, the process technology. We have the associate degree program for the aerospace engineering. We have more technical certificates in areas of studies for just specialized manufacturing areas like HVAC and electrical and those types of trade situations. And we're going to expand this associate degree program in the fine arts, which would cover, and this would be for many of our kids, whether they're taking a career technical route or a TOPS university route, because they'll get their basic core classes, like their English 1 and 2, for the first two semester, first two courses at the four-year university level. And they will transfer. It'll be on the Articulation Matrix. They'll get their first two math courses, their basic core courses, so they could exit Shelmet High School with, of their 60 hours of an associate degree, with about half of that at least that will be applicable even if they wanted to go to the regular four-year university and not major in the fine arts per se, but major in any other curriculum area that they so chose. So we're looking at the fine arts. We've also, and in fact, what I intend to do is have maybe Ms. LaBeouf come maybe at our January meeting at the education, as the education item, and go over our career and technical program and all these that I'm talking about. Because we also have gotten a partnership with Louisiana Restaurant Association and Nunez and us to have a program that will prepare kids to enter that particular industry as well. So I'm going to ask her to come and outline all of that for y'all and for the public as well. But like I said, last Wednesday, we spent a great deal of time at our Cultural Arts Center, showing them the facilities, having our dual enrollment teachers talk with them, and just showing off a little bit. And our kids who were interviewed. And then we had lunch there and then moved over to Nunez Community College, where they visited the courses there that our kids are in to earn those associate degrees in PTAC and aerospace engineering and the nursing courses and such. So it was a wonderful, wonderful day. They were extremely impressed, and we're going to be recognized at the conference in January as one of the 3 districts that are the early adopters, and they took some footage and film that they're going to show at that particular time. So we're in the forefront of that initiative too in the state. And then I guess lastly, we're going to be ending next Friday. Before the holidays are just coming up so quickly. Kids will be taking final exams, and the last day of school before Christmas will be Friday the 17th. So we've got a lot packed into this next week and a half, but it's going to be very busy, but hopefully a very, very good time.
Thank you, Ms. Vote. Mr. England?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Dysart. I saw on television where the Chalmers was on Channel 8. Then we got the show, Channel 4, I think it's going to be showcasing.
I am so glad you said that, because I just forgot to make probably one of the more important announcements. Tomorrow morning, and we put that on the website.
Right.
Channel 4, when we sent out the release saying that we were going to do the Christmas show, they contacted us and said they would like to preview a lot and highlight a lot of our students on the morning show for WWL tomorrow morning. So beginning tomorrow morning at 5:20,
get a cup of coffee.
And every half hour during the show, they're going to be doing interviews with our kids and our adults, and we're going to be doing some performances. So like at 5:20, they're going to interview Fred Hebert, who runs our tech crew over there, and one of our tech students, and show off some of that. And I have this whole running list, but it's going to be like at 5:22 in the morning, then at 5:28, then at 5:55, and then so it's going to be continually all morning throughout the morning show. And they'll be interviewing Fred Hebert, the teachers, Annalise Cassar, probably Charles Cassar, probably Wayne Warner will be on there. And then some of our kids will be performing. The young lady who won the Donald Cook Opera competition, and I think we had announced that before, she won first place statewide in that, which is an extremely prestigious event. She'll be doing her performance on there, and then after the show is over at 9 in the morning, they're going to stay and film our whole ensemble, the whole Shelmet High Voices, in one or two of the songs that we do, so they'll be showing that on Christmas morning when they do many of their, when they're showing around the city what's happening. So tomorrow morning at Shelmet High School, if you see a little activity over at the Cultural Arts Center beginning at 5:20 in the morning. We're going to be highlighted periodically throughout the show with interviews and performances of our kids. So it's going to be a wonderful event.
Little St. Bernard shots.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that. I had it sitting right here, and I neglected to bring it up
That's
earlier.
perfect.
So thank you, Mr. Emmett.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? It's wonderful news with Shelmet High School Cultural Arts Program always. And it'll be great to see their shows up and running again after 2 years. What time are those shows, Ms. Bocce?
Thursday night and Friday night at 7 o'clock. They're only going to be about an hour long, so
Okay.
it'll be very nice. And it'll be our first performance, like I said, in 2 years, so the kids are excited about it. Then our elementary school Saturday and our middle school Sunday afternoon.
Great, thank you.
And it's all on the website if people need to check the times.
Thank you, Ms. Voce. And of course, the articulation between Nunez Community College and our high school students, it's wonderful and wonderful for opportunities, again, for our students to gain college credits before they're in college, but dual enrollment with high school. And it saves time for them and also money for them and their parents, because they won't have to pay those 4-year university fees for English 101 and courses like that they have to take.
And the big thing that you have to think about is, when you transfer, when you take a course at one college or university and you're trying to transfer to another one, sometimes it's very hard for those transfer credits. So what the state of Louisiana has done is every college and university in the state, there's this huge articulation matrix, they call it. And at every institution, they'll put the course number that the child takes and what it transfers at. So these courses, if our kids take it at Nunez and it's that first English course, then that course, it will show you it transfers to LSU, ULL, Monroe, they'll even have Loyola and Tulane, and they'll put all so that you can see, that the child can see, the student can see, the parent can see, well, if he takes this particular course, when he goes to LSU, that's going to transfer, as his first course in English or his second course in English, and he won't have to take it when he gets on that particular campus. He'll already have credit for it. And like you say, it's a tremendous saver. Even if the child gets TOPS, then he'll still get 4 years of TOPS, which gives him some latitude to make sure he completes his whole college degree under that TOPS program, because he'll be coming in already with credit that he has earned that does definitely transfer. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program.
Thank you, Ms. Oche. Anyone else? Okay, there being no further discussion or items on the agenda, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move, we adjourn.
There's a motion by Mr. Campbell. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a second by Ms. White. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you and good night. Our next meeting will be next week at 6 o'clock, regular monthly meeting. Thank you.